Good afternoon, everyone. Just Graham Keith here from the Great Wake Up with an emergency broadcast to bring you today. Now, the reason for this one, it's time, folks. The only thing stopping the revolution of this global, essentially, prison that we live in is us taking action. And we need to take action because our governments have proven that they're not going to. They've proven that they're WEF puppets. They work for the World Economic Forum and the United Nations. And no doubt the Bilderbergs, the Illuminati, the bankers, the Rothschilds, all the 13 families, all of those people, their plan is our world, right? And we need to disrupt that plan now. Right now, our police are criminals. Our governments are criminals. Our social structures have been depleted, wrecked. Our national identity, gone or going. Our towns, cities, dead, desolate. Businesses starved, collapses. The whole thing is an orchestrated wealth transfer so that the global elites, as they like to call themselves, can get fat and rich. Well, make that fatter and richer because they already own and have pretty much everything on this planet. Psychopaths run the show. Psychopaths run the entire system. Psychopaths run the entire world. Satanic, child-abusing, paedophile psychopaths. These people run the world. Power-hungry, ego-driven monsters run the world. And the thing is, those who run the world, the whole hierarchy is set up as a hierarchy. The world is a giant business, essentially. The world is a giant business. And that business is to extort, to deplete, to destroy, to ruin, to break the populations. All of these things are crimes in law. Every single day when the police walk out and do their job, in inverted commas, they're committing crimes. They're committing fraud. They're committing criminal conversion. They're committing treason. The governments are committing fraud, treason, high treason, criminal conversion, uttering, false documentation, same as the police, uttering false documentation, same as the solicitors, false documentation. It's all fraud. It's all based on criminal conversion from a living man to a corporate dead entity or a fiction. And that's all they've done. Do you want to carry on living your life like this? Do you want to see your, potentially your family members, your daughters be raped, injured, murdered, or, maybe even, you can't get much worse than murder. There was a young girl that's in her 20s, I believe, who went to a nightclub and walked out the nightclub in the early hours of the morning and was on her way home when she was attacked, gang raped by 4 doctors and engineers. Gang raped on her own at night, early hours of the morning. Gang raped. I'm going to say that again. Gang raped. Are you getting this yet? And we're just sitting on our hands through fear. I mean, for God's sake, how weak are we as a people? How weak are we? The problem is, everyone is in fear. Some of the police know what's going on. Of course they do. That makes them even more criminal. But even the ones who don't know what's going on, they still should have a moral compass, an integral part of their integrity, and say, well, I'm not doing this. No, I'm not going to arrest people who are protesting about the death or knifing of 3 beautiful little girls by Axel Rudicabana. The police will arrest you for protesting. It's time to take our power back now. Because the longer this goes on, the more ingrained these backwards, demonic systems will become. And the police will believe it is normal to commit treason, fraud, criminal conversion, uttering, and many other crimes that they're committing every second of every day. It's over when we say it's over. And I'm saying enough is enough. No violence. No violence at all. We don't want any violence at all. It gives the government exactly what they want, and the police, the cretins, exactly what they want as well, because they had the audacity yesterday in Epsom to to bring 50 riot police when the crowd of people were merely asking for information about the rape of this girl, this gang rape of this girl at the nightclub. The crowd were peaceful, were polite, were professional, and were only annoyed because they were not getting answers. They didn't commit any public order offences, they didn't commit any other offences. All they're doing is asking for information, which the police didn't provide. What they did do is they brought 50 riot-wielding, shielding officers down and stood there at a great cost to the taxpayer, the mugs who don't have to pay any tax because tax is voluntary and always has been and always will be. They've lied to you about everything. They've inverted everything. So it's time we inverted it back to them. And it's simple. No violence, no harm, no wrongdoing. But the biggest no of all is no fear. No fear anymore. Because they're the criminals. They're the criminals. And as long as you are not breaking any of their deemed fake, fraudulent criminal statutes or acts of parliament which are fraudulent by nature, and obviously fraud reveals and unwinds everything. So the entire system is bullshit, and everything you've ever been taught in it is bullshit. You don't own your house, so don't worry about losing it. You don't own your car, so don't worry about losing that. You don't own the money in your bank account, don't worry about losing that. You don't own your business that you think you own, the one that you've registered and make loads of money that you think is real. You don't own any of that either. But yes, we do need money to survive, but it's not real. It has no intrinsic value. It's an IOU. So what exactly are we afraid of here? We're afraid of doing the right thing. Are we? Are you afraid of doing the right thing? Are you afraid of protecting your people, your family, your children? Well, yes, we are at the moment because we're living under a tyrannous system, a tyrannical communist Keir Stalin-like system, which he hasn't set up, by the way. Be very lucky if he could pull his own trousers up in the morning. But this is the whole point I'm trying to make. We're sitting here, sitting on our hands, doing nothing, sitting in fear, when the whole world is the crime against us. The whole world is the crime. The people who set it up should be in jail for life. They should be hung. Jail's too light. Starmer should have his head cut off. He should. Capital punishment for treason, which is still in force. The Treason Act is still in force. Do your research. And obviously corporates like Keir Starmer have to abide by it because he's the director of the United Kingdom Corporation. He's not the Prime Minister. He's a director of a company called the United Kingdom. Go and look it up. So we need to really stop and think about what we're doing here, folks. We need to come out in numbers, totally peaceful, and overrun the police. That's all we need to do. Or you can do it another way. Don't go to work. Don't pay your bills. Stop paying tax. Just let it all collapse. Okay, if you've got kids, I understand that's difficult. What I'm trying to do, though, is free your mind to not worry about the things that you fear to lose, because you don't own them anyway. Okay? So what can we do? What can we do as solutions? Well, we can go out in numbers in the street, block everything, shut everything down. We can stop paying our bills, our taxes, our rent, our mortgage, our rates, council tax, everything. Tax, if you're self-employed, hold it back. Fuck them. Hold it back. Because they're illegally taking it from you anyway. It's fraudulent to take tax from you because you're not a business. You're a living man or woman. This is how, do you see how they've done it? So we can do this in a number of ways. We have the numbers. We have the power. We also have the fear. Are we going to let that fear go? Because fear itself is cliche, but it's an illusion. It's not real. Fear is not true. You're going to be courageous enough to let it go. Because when you do, that's where change comes. And boy, oh boy, do we need change. And we need it quick. Get them all back where they came from, unless they're here legally, unless they are here to contribute in employment, whether they're a doctor or an engineer for real. Wonderful. Great. No problem. But these bastards behind the Kalergi plan, the Bilderbergs, the Rothschilds, the bankers, the WEF, the UN, they know exactly what they're doing because they're running to a script. Yes, the world that you believed is real your whole life is nothing more than basically one gigantic script unfolding, social experiments unfolding, false flag attacks unfolding, fake events, 9/11, COVID, all of those things, all fake. This is the type of people we're dealing with, folks. Sick, mentally ill, satanic, child abusing paedophiles who just happen to run the system. Are you going to let those type of people bully you and boss you around? Take your money and harm your children and all of the things that we've been seeing, which are facts? Are we going to allow this to continue, guys? Are you going to allow this to continue? You've got all the power. Everything is fraud against you. Stand up now. No fear, no violence. But now is the time, folks. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Please like, share, comment and subscribe like I always ask you to do on this channel. And we're nearly at the 100 subs, folks. So when we get the 100 subs, I think we can go live. We'll be doing lives and things and phone-ins and stuff like that. So look out for that. Can't wait for that. But really heed this message today. Heed this message. Because we do have the power. We are the ones allowing it to continue, if truth be told. Let's put an end to that today. And let's get the world back to how it used to be. Love you all. Thank you for listening. Have a wonderful day. I'll catch you on the next video. Take care.